I've seen numerous rankings for running backs across the country. I don't often see Emmett Johnson listed as one of the top 25 running backs in the country. I feel like he's one of the top 25. We'll see. If he ends up top 40, if he ends up top 10, I feel like one of the top 25 running backs in the country, and a lot of this depends on how the whole offense works together. Obviously, Holgerson, Dillon, and the offensive line opening holes. But as far as what Emmett can do, he's a good all-around back. He just has this knack for finding the hole, a.k.a. vision. Some guys just have a balance about them. Some guys are big, fast, strong, but they go down easier than you think they should. Some guys don't go down like based on how you perceive their speed or their strength or their size, but they don't go down as easy as they should, and that's balance. And that's the ability to find the hole, and that's the ability to accelerate at the right time and have patience at the right time. That's what I see with Emmett. Okay, but I've not seen him by very many people at all, if anybody, rated as one of the top 25 backs in the country. And what prompted me to bring this up, all right, this is Big Ten football talk, ranking the top 20 running backs in the Big Ten entering the 2025 season. Again, Penn State, according to this, has the top 2 running backs in the Big Ten. Nick Singleton, Katron Allen. All right. Then you go to Oregon. Then you've got Minnesota, Darius Taylor. You got Washington, Jonah Coleman. You got Ohio State, C.J. Donaldson. They lost 2 of the best backs in the country. Probably the 2 best backs in the Big Ten last year. All right, both second-round picks, I might add. You got Indiana. You've got, let me see. Is that Michigan? That's Minnesota. That's an ugly gopher. I can't even tell. Then you got, I don't see Emmett here as one of the top 20 backs in the Big Ten. And I was just Big 10, wow. Are you serious? Oh, it depends on who you look at. Okay, so it's 2 of these guys from the Big Ten football talk. The other co-host has Emmett. Oh, I just saw it. Where'd he go? Wait a minute. He's not on. I thought he was on one of them. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's 15th. Okay, so on this one, he's not in the top 20. According to the other one, he's 15th. To not even have him in the top 20, barely in the top 15. Like he is a good running back. He's a good all-around running back. He does so many things so well. I personally now feel like he's barely eking into the top 15, and this is all projection. This is all guesstimation. We all know that. It's freaking June right now. Okay, at some point, cleat is going to hit grass, and we're going to find out who's really good at football and who's not. And Emmett Johnson is going to put that cleat to grass and show that he's good at football. But to barely crack the top 15 and not even the top 20 running backs in the Big Ten, according to honestly, a couple of publications. This is just the one I screenshotted. What are your thoughts on this? It's crazy to me.
It's definitely interesting because obviously the Matt Rule and staff, they believe he's one of the top backs in the conference. I mean, they at least recruiting wise, it looks like they didn't go out there and add to the room. And, there's all this thought, with Nebraska moving up around the country, everybody's looking at Dylan Rail and taking that next big step. But we saw it from Dana Holgerson in that pairing with Emmett Johnson was kind of the biggest benefactor of that, 3 games into the tenure of Holgerson. So we'll see if that continues. I think it might. I will ask you this, though, because I think they are, but not completely sure of it. And maybe they have to play this hand one way or the other. Could some of that factor in, he didn't get a carry against Illinois. His own staff, if they would have valued him as a top 10 running back, maybe would have had a higher usage rate, especially early on in the season. Like I said, now I don't think you can really debate it, along with what's kind of going on in that room. He's by far the most tenured there. But, I think that might have been holding him back is what we said all along. I think just about everybody at the station, there's a large swath of Husker Nation that thought, hey, get Emmett Johnson the ball more. Let's get more out of him. He's really our only big play threat, and still didn't see as many carries as maybe we'd like to see, early on in this season. I think, again, it was corrected more when Holgerson got involved.
I mean, that is a fair point. As you pointed out, there was a game where he didn't get any carries. There was a game where he got 1 carry. Combined 1 carry for those 2 games, if you talk about those games specifically. So there's probably a little bit of perception is reality until it's undeniable. And then you change perception, and that becomes reality. So perception is reality, and a lot of people right now are kind of looking at, maybe his stats as a whole. About 500-600 yards combined last year. That's not going to wow you. And if you don't dive a little bit deeper and look into it more in depth, he had 39 receptions. 23 of them were the last 3 games of the year. That's when he was getting a lot more touches, a lot more catches, a lot more carries. Holgerson takes over, and he shows what he can do. Again, he's an all-around back, and he has he's just like a football player. There are some individuals, you watch them play their sports, and you just say they're a player. Whether it's a basketball player, whether it's a football player. I've played with and against individuals who play faster than they are. And I know it doesn't make any sense, but you see them and you watch them, and I don't know what Emmett's 40 is. I'm talking independently of Emmett Johnson right now. You see them, their 40 time, and you're like, well, not that fast. You watch their tape, and they're like, oh, they must run a 4.3. They just play faster. And then there's guys who will run a 4.3, and they play like they run a 4.7. Like Emmett Johnson to me is, and again, I don't know his 40-yard dash time. So to me, this is independent of Emmett. Now coming back to Emmett, I watch him play just a football player. Like he doesn't go down as often as you would think he would. He has a knack for bursting it through a hole where I'm like, I have to like rewind the tape. Where was that hole? Oh, there it is. How'd he see that? You know what I mean? He's got the ability to do those things. And if you're a national pundit or one of these guys who covers the Big Ten as a whole, let's be real. You're going to focus on the teams that are going to get more clicks. And that's Michigan. That's Ohio State. That's Oregon. That's Penn State. Maybe USC. Nebraska's probably not. I don't know. We have a passionate fan base. We might be in the top 5, probably 6. But you're going to focus on those teams. So you may not be as up to speed. Having done a Big Ten show, I can tell you right now, this is kind of how it works. You're maybe not as up to speed on some of these other teams. Like they could probably tell you everything about Oregon's backfield, but Rutgers, I don't know. You know, I can tell you who the starter is, but beyond that, they may not know as much. And some guys will, to be clear. Some guys may not. So I wonder if they just look at his stats as a whole, how the season played out as a whole, and they don't look at the end of it and project forward, hey, this is what happened when Dylan was playing a little bit better at the end of the year under Holgorsen. And this is what happened under Holgorsen as the OC and project that forward. Then they might just look at the year as a whole because they maybe didn't look as quite in depth. Maybe not. Maybe they did, and maybe this is just what they think.
Well, and I think you're right. I think stats probably play a little bit into that. And for the reasons we've already been over, his stats weren't top end. I think the other thing, too, is he's not the flashiest player. I think people, what's kind of held him back even in the Nebraska room that time is he's good at everything, maybe not great at any, right? He doesn't have top end speed. He's not the biggest guy, plenty of athleticism, but not like a crazy athlete. But he's just, like you said, just a good football player. He uses every bit of what he does have to be a very solid running back. And especially, and this is, kind of I'm not saying the new age, but obviously back in the 90s, you're talking about toting the rock. Out of the backfield, it would be hard for me to imagine there's a whole lot of guys in the Big Ten that are better than him in the pass game. I
would agree with that. It's funny. I play with a guy in D.C., Reed Dowdy, every year. They would draft someone high, like a LaRon Landry, or they trade for someone. We're talking about safeties here. Brandon Merriweather, right, who won a Super Bowl and was a first-round pick and all that. And every year, Reed Dowdy would get overlooked. He didn't look like he played for the team. He honestly looked like he worked for the team, okay? And Reed and I are really good friends. Our house was actually 15 minutes apart when we lived in Colorado. So we became really good friends when I got there. We were really good friends beyond that. I mean, his wife, wonderful family, even donated her kidney to help save their son's life at one point. They have 4 kids, okay? So great dude. Every year, he would get overlooked. Come game 1, he'd be the starter. Every year. Somebody would get hurt, somebody would get suspended, somebody would have a bad camp, and he'd be the starter. And he was just Mr. Reliable, played for, I think it was 9 years, almost a decade. Went to Northern Colorado, was just overlooked. Okay. And I would give him crap because I could, and we were close enough. I'd be like, dude, you don't look like you play for the team. You look like you work for the team, brother. But he'd be out there starting with us. Come game 1, play 1. You go to Emmett, fourth on the depth chart as a freshman, last half of the year. I know there's a lot of injuries, but he was our best running back. Last year, not a ton of carries, as we know early on, belabored that point. The end of the year, our best running back. He reminds me in a way, and there's vast differences, but in a way of Reed Dowdy and what I saw, not only with Reed, but other players throughout my career and other sports and growing up and whatever, but just the guy who makes plays, the guy who's there. And finally, at least from Nebraska fans, he's getting the appropriate shine that he should. I want to see it across the Big Ten. I want to see it across the country. He averaged, again, 20 and a half touches per game, so basically 21 touches per game the last 4 games of the year, 3 to 4 games of the year, and about 120 to 130 total yards of offense in each one of those games as well. I mean, if we could get that going forward, bro, I'll take that.
Absolutely.
Every day of the week and twice on Sunday.